fan. My cabbages! Low, low, man. Oh, my cabbages!
What is up, everybody? Good to see you here today. Of course, this is the Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney over here in Asia, and we've got new charges for Johnny Somali. We're going to talk about why this is. It is part of the legacy that is going to lead us into a more serious consequences for Johnny up before this trial. And I've got some theories and some other stuff to talk about in terms of where this will go, how it will affect the case, and what we can expect over the next month, because we are now T-minus 1 month. We are under 1 month till the first date of the trial. So we're going to talk about that. Now, mind you, this is a trial that's been moved, and we'll go over all the details, give you guys a quick refresher on this, because it's been a minute, so I think you need a little bit of a refresher on where we're at. And we'll get into why these new charges matter and how they're leading to a very interesting theory of the case with Johnny, which could lead to him having more serious repercussions. But before all that, thank you so much for all the donations that allow me to do this and allow me to keep doing this on a regular basis. I do deeply appreciate those, and everybody who is very generous to donate to the channel, whether it's supporting me here with memberships or whether it's supporting me on Ko-Fi, which is probably the next best place to toss some support. So thank you very much for that. King Lugia gifted 5, JP Ravenfire, my mod, gifted 5, Unclean Hands with 5, and Rigo coming in with the big 2-0. Thank you very much. Yes. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. It is very, very much appreciated. And right now, seeing these memberships, and Johnny is watching. I know for a fact he's watching this. He's watching this right now. He's tuned in. That Johnny is having big
Emotional damage
every single time that they come on, that he sees this and sees people helping out the channel and supporting the channel. So thank you, Rico. Unclean Hands, JP, and King Luigi. Appreciate all you guys. Boss the Modern says for 50 Norwegian krona, changing the monthly legal mindset tax for the new charges and for charging the monthly legal mindset tax for the new charges and for the funny cabbages. Thank you, Boss the Modern. Appreciate that. And thank you so much. I am so happy to see this come down. This is fresh off the press. And these charges are something that I know for a fact Johnny doesn't know about himself yet. That's right. Johnny is learning about this stuff from me because there's no official English translation. It hasn't been sent to his place yet at all. I know exactly when the English translation gets to him. He doesn't have it. He has no clue that there's new charges against him right now. So he's watching with bated breath out there, sitting around, hoping, praying that I'm going to give him a good explanation of these additional charges. Remember, he didn't even know his own court date till I told it to him. He didn't even know his court date was rescheduled till I told it to him. And then when he found out, he got real quiet. And we haven't heard much of a peep out of him other than the phone call that was made to him by the Japan squad, specifically Slightly Homeless. Other than that, we really haven't seen a peep out of Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael, which I think is a good thing because, mind you, he's having to sit through this harsh Korean winter, making no money, doing nothing, and spooning with a very, very, very lonely, femboy interested Korean man. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later because, we've got some juice on that. Also, at the end of this show, there are some clips about some Japanese nuisance streamers, which are, you could say they're the up and coming Johnny Somalis or the Johnny Somali copycats. There's one in particular that we're going to talk about. In one incident we're going to talk about with him that's gotten pretty bad. So we'll get into this on the Japan side as well, with just really crossing a line in terms of in terms of where you where you should go. We'll get into that. Riga said, "Can we get a coping and seething for Ramsey?" I'll give you just a bit, because you gave so generously. You get some coping. I got you.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth is,
there you go. Got some coping for you. A little bit of cope for Ramsey. And I think a lot of people, may have wondered why I don't cover Ramsey as much anymore. It's because I'm focusing on substantial updates and giving you real stuff that's got meat on the bones, not just random videos that are AI generated that are saying X or Y or Z is happening. So this is real stuff. This is a significant legal update, and it's very significant because we're under a month to the trial. So anytime you're seeing new charges added within a month of the trial, that actually spells a lot. And we're going to get into that in just 1 second. Let me answer these questions, though. Andre says, "I hope he gets decades of conviction in South Korea. Nothing like, oh, we deport you and please never come back, Japan-wise." Yeah, I think that they're now aware of what happened in Japan. And the prosecutors are aware of that. The judge is aware of that. So I think they will be taking that into consideration absolutely at this point. And I do hope that that's the outcome as well, that they look at that and say, we've got to stop this pattern of behavior, because it's not just Ramsey. There's a lot of these other guys out there, a lot of these guys up and coming who look up to Johnny Somali, who say, well, if he gets away with it, I'm going to go and do the exact same thing for clout. Krypton, it says, "Advanced Valentine's Day to everybody. Cabbage just," oh, you know what? Happy Valentine's Day to you guys too. It's a special relationship that a man has with his chat, but you're all my Valentines, guys. You're all my Valentines. Big love from the mindset to all of you guys. Tyrai Dallas for 5 says, "To legal, thanks to Johnny's antics." Cheers. Thank you. And Sailor Moon says, "Morning, Andrew. Missed you." Hey, it's good to be here. Thank you, Sailor Moon. Appreciate that for the Canadian too. And yeah, I missed you guys too. I've been very busy IRL in real life. A lot of my friends are here. My family visited at some point here in Thailand. I have a lot of clients here, a lot of business here. This is the busiest time of the year, December through February. So I've been very busy with my IRL obligations. So I've been streaming a little bit less. Me scoozy, but I am trying to do a lot more. I am doing a double tonight. So after this stream ends, I'm going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and talk, hopefully with Ari Jacob, about the Baldoni versus Blake Lively lawsuit. And we're going to get into that afterwards tonight. Tonight or later this morning for some of you guys out there. We'll have a chat about that a little bit later. So yeah, I'm trying to work hard here for you guys and bring you a lot of topics. So, sometimes I go crazy when I start streaming a lot, especially if there's a lot of news. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? And what's up, everybody on locals? I see you as well over there. Veggie Han, JP, and Links. Okay. So we've got Johnny. We've got the Cabbage Boy. And what is the status? Let's pull this up here. Here we go. All right. So we got this Cabbage Boy over here, right? Okay. So what's going on? We've still got the case scheduled for March 7th, 2025. Now, I have an inkling, and we're going to talk about it after today's theory and after we work through what we're going to work through today, and this would be the best news ever. I would be a little frustrated, but it'd be the best news ever. His case could get delayed again. That's right. You're hearing this from me. So they originally moved his case from December 20th to March 7th. And, as of date, it's planning to be that, that's on track. But there's a possibility, if some things happen, that we could even get that pushed out longer. And remember, the longer we get his case delayed, the longer it's pushed out, the more he has to stay in Korea, where he can't stream, he can't work. He has to pay rent, whether that's through money or through services to a certain femboy lover. We all know who. We're going to find out. We're going to find out because actually we actually have information on Johnny's location. Regardless, he's got to pay for food, whatever else he needs, Pampers. And he's got to do all that by himself. It's costing him. It's costing him time. And he's locked essentially in the prison of Korea. He is still venued in the Western District. So his case is still within the Western District Court of Korea. So this is something that matters because if it was consolidated, if his case was fully consolidated, then what they would do is they would take his case probably from the Western District and combine, let's say, what he did in Lotte World in the Eastern District and other crimes he did in the Eastern District. They would combine those and probably put them in the Central District and merge in the Central District. But so far, most of his crimes, the crimes we're going to talk about today, including the additional charges, occurred within the Western District, which is Hongdae, which is Itaewon. That's all in the Western District, in the Western District Court, which is in Mapo, right? Which is where his trial will occur. So still there. We still have a travel ban. He still cannot leave. He cannot go anywhere. That's still locked down. He has no work authorization. So his current visa is a litigation-related visa. So he is on a litigation-related visa. He cannot work under that visa. So there you go. He also doesn't have any access to the benefits of Korea. So he's not getting, for example, free Korean healthcare. That's not happening, right? He doesn't have any other social benefits or anything. It's just he's there for the purpose of litigation, for the purpose of this trial, and that's it. So he's got no work authorization. He is not actively streaming. But, and here's the big but, we have additional charges, baby. Before we get to the charges, let me get to these messages because you guys are really lighting it up. First of all, Citizen X with 10. Thank you so much. And then we've got Doug Diaz with 5. Tiny Hyungi with 5. Kamsahamnida. Ting. Sorry, I read that wrong because my eyesight is horrible. Ting Hyungi. Thank you so much. Kamsahamnida for the 5. And then we've got Tatsumi for the 5. Thank you all so much for that. Very much appreciated. Yes. Thank you. And once again, every time Johnny sees this many memberships rolling in, it's all pure.
You are coping and seeding.
So mad right now. Alpha Omega says, can Korea use his Japan issues against him? Not in court directly. So they can't bring charges for them, but they can consider his behavior as a factor, particularly when whether or not to take any apology seriously. So they probably won't take his apology very seriously based on his actions in Japan. That's where that's at. Danny Skier said, talk to Atozi lately. Be sure to bring him to South Korea. He is invited. I've told him that if he wants to come, he should probably book the flight. Not yet, because I wouldn't want them to change the court date again, and he'd be left with, coming to Korea for no court date, right? I want to make sure that the court date's for sure on. It's happening, right? This is locked in. And what I think we may get an update in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we may have an update. Hey, we're moving this court date, and I wouldn't want him to book a flight too soon. But for now, March 7th. And the other thing too is, even if Atozi doesn't come to the first trial date, there's going to be multiple trial dates. So one good one for Atozi to come to, my recommendation for him is he should come to the sentencing. So when Johnny is sentenced, he should be there in the sentencing, because once the sentencing hearing is going to happen in the future. This first hearing, what happens at the first hearing is they introduce the charges. At first, the only charge was obstruction of business. Then they added Minor Crimes Act. Now they have another one. So they're going to introduce all these charges and what they came from. What was the genesis of these charges? Why are they charging him with these other charges? We actually don't know when it comes to the Minor Crimes Act. We don't know what specific act they're looking at because he did so many illegal things in South Korea. But I would recommend he goes to sentencing, which is going to be a future hearing, not March 7th. Even if March 7th happens, he wouldn't be sentenced. Sentencing is likely to happen in a couple months. So I think Atosi should come to that. I think he'd be great content for him, and he would enjoy it. Jerry, who I think sent 2 messages, says, Happy Valentine's Day, but I'm still single. I'm still single. Listen. Chat's here for you. Chat's always here for you. But happy Valentine's Day, pre-Valentine's Day, everybody out there. I'm here for the scuff says, remember to rate someone. I will. One dickhead said, like I said before, the process is the punishment. Exactly. And that's the most important thing to remember about this is that he is being punished by the delay. And let's say the court date gets moved, which is one of my speculations today. I think that is an ultimate punishment for him. And it's effectively like a year in jail. It's effectively putting a year in jail on his record, in addition to whatever they give him. So if the court case takes a year and a half or 2 years to adjudicate, and then they give him 6 months or a year, he's effectively had a jail sentence of 3 years because he hasn't been able to leave, stream, or do anything. Right? Tyride Owl says Johnny could get food and potential place to stay through local churches. He could. I don't think he's going to church. I'm going to throw that out there. I don't think Johnny is going to church. Radio Iskander says, another day, another cabbage. Base South Korea. Love it. Can't wait to be back there very shortly. Fitty Tucker for 20 Aussie says, Florida man lubes up the penal code and yells, here's Johnny. And then Fitty Tucker coming with Fitty Legal Mindset membership.
Yes.
Emotional damage.
You know, Johnny is just absolutely salty right now. He is mega coping over that. Thank you, Fitty Tucker, for the big support now and each time you've given it. Thank you so much for supporting my coverage and my absolute takedown of Johnny Somali. Renegade Kenpachi says the court equivalent of the Fabian strategy. That's true. And Kiernoth for 5, thank you. Now, Marsu, thank you. You're going to help me transition here. So I'm going to use this member chat, member for 13 months. How serious are the new charges? Let's talk about that. Here we go. As of today, Johnny Somali, Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael because it's not Ishmael. He's not Jewish. Definitely Islamic last name. Is charged with an additional count of violating the Minor Crimes Act. So he now has not 1, but 2 counts of violating the Minor Crimes Act. The cases were merged today. So this literally happened today. Johnny has not received an official court English translation of this decision yet. He's literally learning from this stream. He is learning right now. He's got an additional charge against them, right? And let me just make sure that this information is flowing like Dionysus here. Minor Crimes Act. So what is the Minor Crimes Act? So let me pull this down. We've gone over this before, but I'll go over it again just as a reminder because I know some of you are new, some of you may have been tuned out, want to tune back in. So the Minor Crimes Act, it can be punished by a fine of up to 100,000 won or by misdemeanor imprisonment, right? So there's a decent punishment there, right? Or misdemeanor imprisonment, but it can be a lot of different things. So these crimes, for example, that are part of the Minor Crimes Act, and this is the English version, right, can include, and I'm just going to read some of them: breaking into empty houses, carrying concealed weapons, preparing for violence. Let's see, failure to report people in need of support. So having knowledge of people with disabilities and not helping them. false assumption of official titles, so saying he's a lawyer, right? Inertia selling of goods and solicitation, unauthorized posting of advertising, interference with water, littering, urinating, damaging nature, right? Begging, creation of insecurity, making someone feel uneasy, annoyed, drinking, disturbance of neighbors, throwing things in dangerous conduct. So there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff in this Minors Crime Act, a lot of it. Misrepresenting personal information. A lot of potential stuff coming under the Minor Crimes Act. So we don't know what exactly it is. Now, do I have a theory? Yes. This is going down in the Western District. So that means it has to be something he did in Hongdae, because mainly what he was doing wrong was in Hongdae. He had a lot of stuff in Itaewon as well, but in the Western District, he mainly was in Hongdae. So it probably was something like either the ABC incident, something related to that, the ABC pizza incident, or it could be related to him picking on the streamer with a disability. Because there was that one Korean streamer, and I couldn't find the video real quick, but we played it before on this series, this Johnny Somali series. There's a Korean streamer who has a disability who he yells at, he barks at, he gets down on all fours like a dog, and he's like, woo, woo, woo. And he's like barking at this guy, and he's like, these are my streets. I own these streets. Remember that video? You guys probably remember that one. It could be that as well. That's one theory as well. So there's a lot of things he did in Hongdae. I think it will be related to one of those because that streamer said he reported him to police. So because that streamer said he reported him to police, they can definitely get him for Minor Crimes Act for that. It was extremely cringe. Extremely cringe. So that is one possible thing that could have gone down with the charge itself and what the charge itself is for. Now, he did so many things on film, we actually can't be sure. So what's going to go on with Minor Crimes Act? And what's the theory? Well, I had the chance today to do some catching up with a good friend who is very well versed in this. And he told me this is a massive deal because he has never seen a case where they've merged in two incidences of the Minor Crimes Act. It's very rare, extremely rare. And there's a limited purpose for why they would do this. So I'm going to share with you a little write-up here on the Minors Crime Act and when it gets prosecuted more seriously. And this is actually a document that's in Korean and in English, so it's going to have both languages, so Koreans out there can read this as well. Before I share this, let me read these messages. Rigo said, damn it, Fitty, why you got to show up like that? Fitty's just got to flaunt. Fitty's got to flex. Fitty's got to drop Fitties, which I appreciate because now we have 115 new members, which is awesome. Thank you so much. Danny says, Vivian Gray and Brendan Kim, wonder if they watch you too. I'm sure they watch me sometimes, but I'm very happy they're keeping their head down. That's what I told them to do. I think it's smart. And I didn't tell them directly, by the way. I told them through this video. They did try to reach out to me. I said, nope, I don't want to talk to you. You need to not talk is what you need. Guitar Stuff Studio said, message for Ramsey. Fuck around and find out. He fucked around with the wrong country and also the wrong lawyer because he didn't know about the he didn't know he's going to be a long time in jail. R Pretend says $10 to the Make Johnny Mad Fund. Absolutely. And if you guys want to do any direct donations for me, obviously I still have a nice fight against Hank that I'm getting into. You guys can come over to my Ko-Fi/Andrew Esquire, and drop some donations here. Those go kind of directly and go much more quickly than YouTube. A higher percentage comes over, so I would deeply appreciate that if you want to come over and help the defense fund against Hank. That would be great, which we're going to talk about Hanky Poo later. Don't worry. Hanky Poo has a moment later in this. Enterprise says, legal mindset. How are things over there in Asia? I've been having a blast here in the U.S. watching federal bureaucrats get fired. Hope he gets tears. Yeah, I'm going to cover some of the U.S. stuff in a future stream. That's going to be this week as well. But things are great here. It's so busy. People are having a great time. People are loving it. And people are just going on and making money and having fun. It's a great time here in Thailand. It's great. I'm looking forward to I'll actually be in Japan next week-ish. And then I'll be in Korea. So thank you for that. And then Alfonso Oro with 20 legal mindset membership.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thoughts on what happened to Daryl Brooks? Once again, Daryl Brooks is an American convicted criminal who killed a 8-year-old child and 4 elderly grandmothers. So I have very little sympathy for him and what happens to him in jail. So that's my personal thoughts. Ricardo Fung, for 499 says, Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael acting like a doggo, disgusting, insulting for the dogs. Our best friends behave better than him. That's true. That's very, very true. They're more well-trained than Johnny. Hollinger for 4 months says, Johnny wishes he could be back in Japan. All of Johnny's friends are in Japan. And I say friends because almost all of them have betrayed him and denounced him. They all say they want nothing to do with him. They don't want him on Kick. He's an embarrassment for Kick. He's an embarrassment for Kick in Asia. He's made everybody hate him in Asia. They're trying to distance themselves from him. Now, a lot of them are doing the same dumb stuff that leads down the Somali type road, right? They're going down that road of Somali, but they've disowned him. And he's seeing all his friends having fun and traveling together in Japan, and he can't be there. He is legally banned from Japan. He cannot go to Japan for, I believe, at least 4 more years. It's 5 total. So if he served about a year now at that time, then, he's got another 4 years until he can get back into Japan. So he's locked out. And then same thing for Korea. So he's going to have to suffer, Johnny. He's going to have to suffer seeing his friends traveling to all these cool places he gets banned from. Oh, did I actually say Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael? Yeah. All right. So let me read you a write-up of the Minor Offenses Act. So why this is a big deal. So this is a write-up here, and let me try to zoom in a little bit on the Minor Offenses Act and when a minor offense is prosecuted as a more serious charge. Okay. So, and there's a Korean version, but I'm going to read the English, obviously. My Korean is not great right now, but Korean readers out there can appreciate it. This is an official write-up here. A prosecutor's decision to re-indict an act of dining and dashing. So this is, dine and dash is when you eat and you don't pay the bill. So this is covered under the Minor Offenses Act. So he's giving an example of one type of minor offense. We don't know what Johnny's was for. It could be for urinating. It could be for being an asshole. Who knows? But let's just say a prosecutor's decision to re-indict an act of dining and dashing as fraud may be understood as a structure similar to a charge in the case, a change in the charge and applicable legal provisions following an amendment to an indictment. So they could add this charge and then upgrade it to a more serious charge. So this is what we may see here in Johnny's case. We may see them merging these cases. So that's what they've done now. And now that they've merged the cases and they see he has a pattern of behavior, they may take the minor offense and upgrade it to a more serious offense. While by itself, it might have been a minor offense, the prosecutor may look at it in the aggregate and say, oh, we're going to upgrade this to a more serious charge because this is a pattern of behavior. So this is why, one of the reasons why it's serious. Number 2, the prosecutor's discretion to directly indict instead of requesting summary judgment. If a prosecutor determines that a formal trial is necessary, which in this case they are going to formal trial, so it's already been done, considering the severity and specific circumstances, they may proceed with a direct indictment instead of requesting summary judgment. So minor crimes, by the way, are typically dealt with just summarily. So meaning if you're charged with urinating, you typically don't go to trial. You just pay. You're just dealt with through what's called summary proceedings, which are done real quick. You pay and it's done. It is so rare in the first place to see these go to trial. It's incredibly rare. But then to see two separate charges and then being merged in, and they're all going to trial together, along with the obstruction of business charge, that is extraordinarily rare. Which means they're taking it very seriously. And here we go. Here's another reason why they might take this seriously. They might do a direct indictment of the Minor Charges Act for repeat offenders or public safety concerns. Even if the act falls under the Minor Offenses Act, a prosecutor may decide on a formal indictment if the offense is repeatedly committed or poses a serious threat to public safety. So what they're saying here is he actually has done over and over again things that are wrong, and he could pose a serious threat to public safety in Korea. If the minor offense endangers public safety, prosecutors may skip summary judgment and file a formal charge. So, in summary, they usually bring minor offenses when they overlap with a more serious crime, when they deem the case serious enough for a full trial based on circumstances, and if they're a repeat offender or a public safety risk. And beyond that, right, it can lead to show persistent or harassing behavior, right? So it can show this pattern that Johnny has not just committed one crime, but has committed many crimes. Let me go to my presentation because this is going to be very clear here. This is very, very clear in my PowerPoint. You guys are going to understand. I forgot to put arrows, but you guys will get it. You're smart. Okay, here we go. Some cabbages, right? So here's all of Johnny's charges. He's got charge number 1, obstruction of business. Charge number 2, the Minor Crimes Act, which was added in December. Charge number 3, Minor Crimes Act, added today, 2/11/2025. And he has what I would speculate will be future charges. I'm telling you right now, it is my prediction that Johnny Somali will face additional charges, that the charges are not done yet, that they will either upgrade some of those Minor Crimes Act offenses, or they will add additional offenses. And if they do that, it's highly likely that they're going to bump the trial date even further out from March. And what this shows is when the judge looks at this, they're going to say, this is not just obstruction of business. Because remember, we talked about this. Obstruction of business is not usually harshly punished. It's obstruction of business. It's Minor Crimes Act. It's Minor Crimes Act. Minor Crimes Act number 1, Minor Crimes Act number 2. And then imagine if it's deep fakes. If they add on deep fakes, which can get serious criminal time. Let's pretend the future charge is deep fakes. This adds up to jail time. This together adds up to jail time. While Korea is typically light on punishment, when you put all of these things together as a pattern of behavior of a person who is terrorizing Korea, who is terrorizing Seoul, who has a pattern of negative behavior across the city, a rampage, you might say, it puts it all together and ends up with serious potential time in jail, real time in jail, being very, very possible. Asian Dragon 45456, what's up for $9.99? Thank you. Says, Andrew, I did investigate nuisance streaming. They're doing 100-day in Japan. Yes, that's true. And I predict they will detain and indict on week 6 while they're in Japan. I think that it depends on which one. Obviously, there's some of them that aren't doing anything and that are fine and that haven't done anything illegal yet. I think some of them, the ones that are pushing the boundaries, particularly we'll talk about one of the guys in Japan right now. He's definitely pushing the line here. I think some of them may be sooner than later that they'll get detained and possibly indicted. Some of them sooner than later. I think others may get off completely and not have any problems. And some of them are not committing any crimes. So I don't want to make it sound like they're all committing crimes because that's not true. I never said that, right? Despite whatever deranged people say or weird fans say, some of them have committed no crimes whatsoever at all. Some of them have. Clearly. Yuki Roma. Ismael is the lucky roulette wheel of crime for prosecutors. Whatever you land on, he's probably committed it. Exactly. Right. And guys in the chat, no caps, please. You don't need to be using caps. If you use caps, you're going to get timed out. Do not spam caps. That's spamming. Don't do it. All right. So my prediction is we're going to get this case delayed. Now, I'm still planning on, March 7th. I'm still going to gun for March 7th. We're still going to talk about March 7th as the date because that's the official date. I have the documents. The date is March 7th right now. I could very realistically see it getting pushed back. If they're going to add more charges, they're going to push back the initial date. Maybe 30 days, maybe 15 days, maybe 2 months. Who knows? The longer, the better. The more they delay it, the better. Starting in the summer would be great because then he's got to stay there until winter. Remember, these trials take months. So if the trial takes 3 to 4 months, if they push his trial into the summer, let's say they push it to August and it takes 4 months for the trial, he's not leaving till December of this year. Then he'll have spent over a year locked in Korea. That'd be great. That'd be absolutely great. So I'm hoping that's what happens here. I'm hoping that's what happened in this case. All right. So that's what we have for the new charge. Now, I've got some new information. This is courtesy of our best boy Hanky Poo. Guys, like the stream. If you like this information, like the stream. We're going to have more out in the next weeks. Trust me, there's going to be more information. We're going to be ramping up here as we get 1 month of the Somali trial. More information to talk about as we get closer to the trial. Now, we've got information on Johnny's location. In fact, it's exactly where I said it was the entire time. Our good old friend Hanky Poo, the infamous Asian, has admitted that Johnny is sharing his bed. He's with him. This Diddy's dildo. I don't know what that is. Hanky Poo over here said that Johnny is with him, staying with him. So, like we thought all along, Hank and Johnny, cuddle buddies for life, hanging out with each other, sheltering him. I wonder if his parents know he's doing that. I wonder if they know that Johnny Somali is being harbored at their rented apartment. Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael. Very interesting information. Obviously, Hanky Poo still trying to come after me and various other streamers in Korea. Likely unsuccessful on all of that. So we'll keep you updated on Hank. And obviously, if you want to support me against Hank and his shacking up and harboring of Johnny Somali, you can head over there to my Ko-Fi and toss me some schmeckles. Toss me some one over there on Ko-Fi. Andrew Esquire on Ko-Fi. Thank you, guys. All right, let's talk about some Japanese nuisance streamers, shall we? We've got some Japanese nuisance streamers to show you guys here. So there's this gentleman, and gentleman is a loose word, who is causing some problems. Oh, and let me answer these questions here on Johnny before I go to this Japanese streamer. Dwojin says, any update on the company's obstruction case and the court it's in? Any theories on the case being combined? I think that one is brewing, and that is one of the several charges that I think may come in the next couple weeks. Remember, too, there's another factor. Sorry, I forgot to say this, is that the judges and prosecutors sometimes swap out in the spring. So they can be taking this seriously now that they're doing the swap or considering swapping out or changing who's in there. this spring. So I think especially as it gets close to the trial date, they're paying attention to it. The holidays are over. And I think we're going to see that one get merged in at some point in the near future. Now, that was not in the Western District. That was in another district court. That was, I think, in the Eastern District. So they would have to take the cases and merge them and move them if they were going to do it that way. Shouldn't there be two obstructions? One from the convenience and one from the bus manager? No, because the bus has not been officially brought yet. So we don't have that one yet. When we get information on that, we'll let you know. If the cases are merged, right? Let's say a case pops up in the Eastern District and it's merged, we will let you know. I'll let you know as soon as there's information on that. But the one from the bus driver hasn't gone forward yet. So far, we just have the convenience store. Now, I imagine that's one of the charges that will come. I'm predicting that's one of the ones that'll come. We'll see, though. We'll see. 200 watts at Johnny and Hank on the down low. Hide the California roll. Gin Blades, Johnny and Hank making their own Brokeback Mountain. Oh.
No. Wait.
Potential criminal with a good question. Is there a right to appointed counsel? Yes, they have public defenders. So they do have public defenders. He has a public defender. He does not have a paid attorney. So, but public defenders, this is a very good question, Sean, much like in the US, are public defenders. They have a lot of clients. And frankly, they don't give a even if they're good, even if they're competent, which many of them are, they don't have enough time to attribute to these cases. They don't have enough time to jump on it right away. That's why Johnny Somali is finding out about this information from my streams. And I know that because I see him and his cronies talking about finding out the information from me. Literally, Johnny flips out saying, how does he know before I know? How does he know before my lawyer knows? How does he know before my boyfriend knows? I mean, Hank, right? He loses it. But, that's what happens when you fuck around, Johnny. 200 Watt Studio says, which one plays Daryl Brooks when Johnny and Hank role play as cellmates? I think they're going to both end up as Daryl Brooks in the end, if you know what I mean. Natasha says, I just want it for 5. Says, I just want to see him get charges for North Korean propaganda. That would be hilarious. Hey, Ramsey, if you're watching, suffer bish. I think they will push it back. I think so too. I mean, if they're adding and they're going to keep adding charges, I think they're going to need more time to build the case. And even his own lawyer may ask more of him. So the lawyer, for example, may say, hey, listen, I need more time to prepare for trial. I can't prepare for all these new charges in 1 week or 2 weeks. I need more time. So I've got to push this back 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, which is great. It's more time he's stuck in Korea, not being able to do anything legally. Dolby Zach for 1,000 yen says, does Korean law situation is in massive confusion? Does it affect? No, not at all. Not at all. None of that affects the trial. All that stuff is kind of a political distraction. The best comparison would be like, it's like, for example, the Potomac air tragedy, right? And Jeju Air, right? It's like that was both horrible situations, but doesn't really affect the legal system necessarily directly, right? Not directly. Indirectly, there are some effects at the highest level, but not directly at the lowest level. So I don't think it'll affect the Johnny Somali trial now. Citizen X for 5 Australian says, playing hide the cabbage. You know where he's hiding the cabbage. Asian Dragon says for 456 says for 499. I've been better. Well, I hope you do feel better. Yet I see Johnny Somali effect should be a crime, but Japanese government have not applied ban streaming law yet. They need to. And we're going to watch this video on why they need to, because this is unacceptable. Just wait 30 seconds. We're going to get to this one. Mayhem, member for 3 months, says, did Johnny have to pay 10K per night? 10,000 baht, 10,000 won at least every day, because 10,000 won is at least like $7-8. I mean, that would be like minimum. Even if you're eating in a convenience store, you'd have to spend that much money, and more likely. I even doubt he's eating that cheaply. That's if you're eating like ramen noodles every day, or ramyun every day, and eating like some seaweed or something, right? Some kimbap, right? You're still going to spend more than, you're probably going to spend like $20, right, a day. So yeah, Johnny's real penned up. LJ O'Rourke for 10. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Let's talk about this let's talk about this Japanese news streamer. Thank you, LJ O'Rourke. Appreciate that donation. We're up to, by the way, an awesome 145 new members, almost 150. Almost 150. Thank you for the support, guys. So here we have this guy, DBR666. This is, I think, he's on the candidate list for the next Johnny Somali, for like the Japanese version of Johnny Somali. And I'm gonna show you real quick the video, and this is the one that's going around. There's a lot of videos this guy's done. He's gone around being incredibly rude to people. He urinated in a building when he couldn't find a bathroom, so he urinated in a building. He's done a lot of stuff, but this one is particularly bad. And I'm going to show you guys the full video, 2-minute video, including when the police come up and talk to him, and kind of get into, what went down there, what I think is going on here with the Japanese police. So we'll get into that. Let me give some thank yous here. Rigo, thank you for the 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for getting me to 150. Chaos Man says for 5, Johnny Somali's lawyer after this court is going to beat him just like how Stewie beat Brian, asking, "Where's my money?" It's a great one. Where's my money? Where's my money, Brian? It's a good one. 200 Watt Studio said, Johnny eating at a hanky salad bar. Well, whose salad? Whose tossed salad is available at that bar is a question. 200 Watt Studio. Kettle Fire Charmer Hita for 5 says, at this point, I don't think Johnny's assigned public defense attorney even cares what happens to Johnny anymore and just there for the ride. At this point, but is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, if you're Johnny Somali's public defender, I think you don't tell anybody about that. I think you don't brag about that. Oh, by the way, this is good to hear. Yeho says, Andrew, this is probably the only great news coming out right now considering I have a family emergency. Well, I hope your family emergency is resolved. But this is great news. It is really great news about Johnny. No Name for Canadian 2 said, screws with country, gets lawyer from same country. Of course. Okay. Let's watch this DBR clip. This is from the Sapporo Snow Festival. This is pretty bad, but let's just play it and let you guys see.
The next person to come to this vending machine is getting hit with this. I'm not gonna lie. This is like a whole block of shit. Do it, I'll drop 100 subs. I will.
So once again, you see this pattern, and this is the Somali thing and everybody else. And this is the bad thing about this, is that it's the subs for doing something illegal, right? And I get it. If you have goals, whatever, that's fine. You can do that for streaming that are not illegal or not something that is absolutely not okay, right? You cannot just, without prompting, throw shit at people, even if it's snow. It doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter one way or another. What it is. Asian Dragon said 499. I saw the DBR clip of the snow festival. They throw the snowball, but employees haven't complained to police. We'll watch the clip. Watch the clip, Asian Dragon. Let's finish.
So drop the 100 subs, because I'm gonna do it more now. Fuck yeah, drop the 100 subs. Drop the 100 subs. This dude right here that looks like he's having a nice day. Sue me, my son.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hug.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Once again, I don't think you're that sorry if you're going out there and throwing it at him and, out of nowhere, from nowhere, without talking to this guy at all. He's just trying to do his job. That's actually an employee. So he's a staff member, a poor staff member trying to just do his job.
Go on my side.
What's wrong with you?
Wait, what?
And then, of course, some guy approaches because nowadays, and this is what I've called the Somali effect, people are becoming more aware of this and looking out for this. And I would encourage you guys, if you're traveling in Japan or whatever, to look out for this as well, to call these people out, to confront them, right? In the same manner. You should always come up and if you see people doing this and streaming, be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Especially if they're a foreigner, right? And at this point, I think that's one of the things that these streamers are most afraid of is the general awareness of this. So that if all the people that are in Japan right now, and especially the tourists and everybody else is looking out for this and calling this out and confronting these people, it's not going to go well for them, right?
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with you?
And of course, you shouldn't even be filming him, right? So now and the other thing too is he shouldn't be filming any of these people without their consent. Right? That's another thing that's very questionable. None of these people should be filmed without their consent. None of them. Zero. This many. Right? And if they actually wanted to go after these individuals, if they weren't such judgment-proof losers, which most of them are, they could. Because that's an unauthorized, just their image. They're not authorizing that. And in Japan, under Japanese law, they absolutely would win.
I just threw a snowball.
Yeah, why? Why
Do you
in
want
the
me
face? Why in the face of a staff member here?
Do you want me to throw a snowball at you?
No,
Look
because
at him, his lip is bleeding.
yes, his lip is bleeding because of you.
Because
turn
of-
it off. Turn it off.
No, my
Yeah, see, exactly. So they're telling him to turn it off, and he's saying no, right?
Wrong, you
don't touch my phone.
You
Don't touch my phone. Then walk away from me.
You fucking tourist.
I'm a tourist?
Yeah, you're a tourist, obviously.
I live here.
Yeah, but why?
Bullshit, right? Which I'm pretty sure is bullshit. Pretty sure this guy does not live there.
You're
Then you
using?
should have respect.
Yeah.
I said to him, sorry.
Are you?
He could lose his visa if he lived there. If he had an actual visa, he could get deported for that easily.
Are you okay?
I said, go no masai.
Yeah, I'm pressing X to doubt. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't live there. Someone who can't even say gomen nasai correctly, right? He can't even fucking pronounce it correctly. I highly doubt that he lives there. Yeah.
Sorry, whatever his language.
No.
Just
Maybe.
do it.
Maybe.
Whatever his language, right? You live there and you don't even know what his language is? Yeah, no.
It's maybe good to call the police.
Okay, you call the police. Call the police.
Yeah?
Yeah, call them.
Maybe better. Why
Okay,
you-
call
why-
them. No.
Why?
I hate when people say that. Call the police.
Why you?
Did I disrespect you? I
Yes.
snowball.
He
But-
can't understand.
Bad.
He nodded. He's like nodding. Yes, you fucking disrespected me. Also, thank you, Big Buddhas, for the 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Snowball.
Snowball?
Snow. This one. Badder.
I thought you live here. Why can't you speak in Japanese?
Called out. Literally called out. Oh, I thought you live here. You don't even speak Japanese. You don't even speak Japanese.
Because I don't learn the language. I
Okay,
just speak
so-
in English.
Okay, so you live here,
Yes.
acting like an asshole, and you're throwing, and you don't touch my
She
wife.
put her
Don't
hand out.
touch my wife.
What are you gonna do?
Don't touch my wife.
What are you gonna do, sir?
Don't.
Yeah, see, yeah, you should punch him in the fucking face. I mean, that's also a solution. I mean, I'm just saying. But anyways,
Throw snowball. Film anybody. Okay. Sorry.
so he's being told not to film anybody. He's being told by the police because it cut forward, it jumped there. But he's being told not to film anybody, and he's continuing to film everybody.
Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So the police should not have let him off there. There's a cut over there. He cuts out because obviously he cut off the film and he cut it back on. He should not have been allowed to go there.
Bro, this guy's a low-level SJW. If you're gonna talk to the police, at least do it. Like, get me in trouble. The police like me.
So that was the end of the video there. So I think this guy is he's getting gassed up. He's getting set up to be Somali part 2. So I think that's one we should keep an eye on. Watch that one there, because that guy is definitely he's not too bright, and he's looking like he's gonna end up in some Somali-like situations. So just putting a little notice out there on DBR. Let me read some of these super chats. First of all, thank you, LJ O'Rourke, for the 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Mayhem for $9.99 says 10K. Isn't that Hank's bed warming? Oh yeah, that is Hank's fee for Hank's sucky fee. So that does meet the barrier. Yes. Drifting Cat for 6 for Singapore 5. So now Ramsey, Khalid, Ismael has a month from now to hope they spend time with Hanky Boo before trial. Hope they make the most of the memories this Friday on Valentine's Day. So remember, the trial in Korea is 3 to 4 months normally. Even if he pleads guilty, it'll at least be 2 months minimum. Even if he just comes and is like, yeah, I'm guilty of everything. And it's not going to be one thing and done. There's going to be several trial dates. So that it's not like United States where you have a trial date, starts March 7th, it goes for a week and it's over. That's not how it happens. There's big gaps between the trial dates. So that's a big thing to remember here. Arrows FB76 for 5 euros says, can requiring a working visa to be allowed to stream be a solution to avoid these nuisance streamers? Yes. If they want to make streaming covered by visas, yes. However, enforcement of that is going to be difficult. So what they could do that though. They could require streamers to get an entertainment visa or apply for a some sort of visa or permit so they're all registered. And they could even require them to download certain apps. They could track them. They could do all sorts of things with streamers in the country if they really wanted to. And, we have the technological solutions to be able to do some of these things if they want to get creative enough. But there is going to be some work on the government's end to monitor these people. And they don't want to have to do it, but they're being pushed to the point where they're going to have to do it. People are openly disrespecting Japan and other Asian countries, but specifically Japan. I think breaking their cameras would suffice. I would agree. Or confiscating them. The police confiscating the cameras would be enough. I agree. NZ for 10 euros says, I watched the VOD of the last stream, and that's why no one cares about Mia, while Sasha has over 1 million followers on Twitch. You should also see Tom Lair. We will all go together when we go. I will look that one up. Thank you. But yeah, last stream was good. Talked about a lot. Destiny, Gina Carano, Pearl versus Nala. Good one. I had the little clips come out before. I still have the Destiny clip to come, so that one's going to come out soon as well. And we've got the Baldoni Lively commentary in a bit. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Dolby Zach says this kid is not well known in Japan yet. Thank you for the info. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. We're going to spread this information. Hopefully you guys out there that have got the good network spreading this information now will spread this information to people in Japan, forums in Japan. Let's have everybody know who this kid is. So when he goes places, people know who he is, call him out and get the police there or inform the authorities or get him kicked out ahead of time. Right? The biggest thing these nuisance streamers fear is being known. They survive by being unknown, but the moment they're known well enough is a problem. That's why they fear. That's why all these nuisance streamers fear being covered and exposed. It doesn't matter what you say about them. If you say anything that's not completely that they're the most amazing thing ever, they get mad because they know their time is limited and they know people are paying attention. Turkey the White says, have you seen the Trumpy dance? I've seen a lot of Trump dances. So I'm sure it's out there. You can send it to me though. Thanks. Ryobi says, I'm a tourist. I live here. That's the most oxymoronic thing ever. Since I can read the English. I can read English. TF is an alphabet. Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. Clearly he doesn't live there. Clearly he doesn't know anything about Japan, right? He doesn't know how to say snowball. He doesn't know how to even properly pronounce sorry, right? It's obvious. It's obvious he was a bad faith actor there and just lying through his teeth. And frankly, if that was a less collected person, they would have punched him in the face. Apparently, somebody in the chat says there's videos of him being a nuisance at TwitchCon. I am not surprised. I'm not surprised. Yeah, and I will say this. So someone in the chat said this. There is a big difference between people that are being a nuisance and people that are respecting Japanese culture who just want to enjoy and have fun. That's fine. I'm all for enjoying and having fun, being a little bit silly, whatever. There's a limit, though. There's a line, right? There's a way that you can enjoy within respectable boundaries and not break any laws. And even sometimes when things are more minor, I'm like, okay, whatever. It's somebody being stupid, but they're not doing anything illegal. This person did something illegal. That was illegal. That crossed a line. And I know what you're saying. Oh, it's not a brick. It's not, hitting him with a pipe. No, but you still bled off of that. A big clump of snow, especially if it's hardened, can actually really hurt. And the guy had glasses too. Hit him right in the face. Dolby Zach for 1,000 says, is there any reason for aiming at Japan? Am I misunderstanding it? They're perceived as weak. It's perceived as a country with a lot of just regular general content. So there's a lot of quote unquote fun things to do there. Flights are cheap there. The yen is weak right now. And the Japanese people are perceived as weak. They're perceived as too permissive by the nuisance streamers. And they interpret their politeness as weakness. That's why they target Japan. And they've said it themselves, right? That they won't do anything about it. That's the perception. And that's what, and that's one of the reasons for the deep-seated, really it is a racism, that these Asian countries are weak and their justice systems are weak, which is absolutely not true. But they're trying to push that narrative. And people like this are trying to take advantage of it. Kindness is weakness only to really infantile people. Kindness is a position of strength, in my opinion. Asian Dragon 499 says, as you said, once streaming on your face, it becomes a public figure and no point in putting privacy. Exactly. So once you've streamed and put your face out there, you're kind of done. Like your privacy is done. People can find you. And if you fuck around and create a bad image, people will find you. And I'm fortunate that most people that see me, I've never had anybody negatively come up to me. The only people I've ever had come up to me are people that like my channel, like my content on one content or another, or say, hey, I've seen your Johnny Somali coverage. I like your Johnny Somali coverage. Thanks. Appreciate it. Cool. Never had a bad interaction IRL. Never. Not even once. But I can't say the same thing for Johnny or for the other nuisance streamers. Salvador Calgarias del Carrillo for 200 Argentina. So live in Buenos Aires, beautiful city, lovely city, Paris, South America. The city hall is going to approve a law regarding public streaming in order to avoid these issues. Awesome. And police will have more active involvement regarding public streams. I think that's a good thing. Now, I think, yes, is there a possibility for an overreach? Yes. But I think that in terms of nuisance streamers, which are the real problem, there needs to be more laws, regulations, and oversight. Otherwise, they're going to continue to populate because it's easy content and people will continue to pay them. You saw that 100 subs, right? So today we've gotten what? We've gotten 165 subs. So a little over half of the subs I got today, right, would be the equivalent of what he got for throwing a snowball. It's lucrative. Guys, I got to tell you, like these people, from what I've heard, they do make serious money when they're being nuisances. They really do. But it has to be stopped. So it has to be stopped on another level because the economic incentive is there. Or there has to be some other punishment, deplatforming them more easy, kick, enforcing TOS more strictly, whatever it is, right? And maybe that's the solution. Maybe kick is the solution. Maybe people petitioning kick is the solution. Who knows? But there needs to be a solution. Let's see. Tyrai Downs for 10 says, have been stationed in northern Japan for 2 years, who went to the Sapporo Snow Festival as a tourist, as well as stationed in South Korea. These people aggravate me. If I saw that, I would not just be aggravated, I would be enraged. I'd be absolutely enraged. Because it's pretty insane. It really is. It really is. Oh God. And I love people in my locals trolling me once again with the Johnny Somali Ricada Law meme. I appreciate you. I love you guys. All right, guys, I have another stream in 1 hour with my good friend Ari Jacob. We're going to be talking about Blake Lively. We're going to be talking about the Blake Lively Baldoni lawsuit. So I need to take a short break and I need to get some food. There will be more updates on Johnny Somali coming. There will be more on this trial coming. Stick with me over this next month. In fact, now we're down to 25 days until the first trial. We're going to be doing some in-depth coverage, some deep dives. Everybody who thought this was going away, including Johnny Somali, are just going to be sitting in his cold room with Hank, and they're just going to be...
You are coping and seething. You just can't...
Because we are not going anywhere with our coverage. But thank you. That's what I got for tonight. I'm going to roll the outro today. Appreciate everybody who dropped by. Stay based, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.